Hi everyone, thank you very much for your patience, I really do appreciate that. But yeah, I was just going through some technical difficulties, so hence took a little longer this time, but everything seems to be working and everything seems to be in order. So, have you all been? Can you see me clearly? Am I coming through properly? Hi everyone, thank you very much for your patience. Ooh, let's do that. It's great to see a bunch of you here. Drake, Gwen, great to see you here. Jess, great to see you as well. Jacinda, Elite, Movie Fan 2002, Jess, Fireboy. It's wonderful to see all of you here, as always. Let me just write this down in my notes here. Just get this last little stuff ready as we talk about the stories. And also just share a little bit of extra info with you about some stuff that's happened with the channel recently. Oh, Saeed says he's back. Robin, great to see you here. The Ninder. Well, what does the Ninder say here? Yo, Eric, how disappointed have you been with streaming original shows this year? Well, not to spoil what's coming up, but I did just decide, because a lot of you guys were asking me, I did decide to binge watch The Acolyte. And in matter of 3 days, I've now got just the final episode to watch. In fact, if I wasn't doing this live stream, I'd probably be watching that. And I've been taking notes of each and every single episode, so stay tuned. I do want to, add my hat into the conversation as well, and let you know if people were exaggerating about how bad this show was, or if they were right on the money. Jake, great to see you here, buddy, right at the start of the stream as well. Jordan, great to see you. Spirit Hero, Big Bash. Big Bash says, Eric, thanks for streaming. I'm happy I can work out at the gym and listen to the stream. Oh, that's good. Just like how we do these streams every week, you always seem to be at the gym at the same time every week as well. So, cool. I'm glad we can keep you entertained in that way as you're there in the gym. Hopefully make the workout easier. Elite says, The Acolyte review, when? Well, I still have to watch the final episode, then I'll try reading it out. I'm going to try to continue doing it in the format that you saw with what I did with the recent Captain America Brave New World video, because you guys said you enjoyed that. So I thought I'll try do more videos in that format. It'll be easier for me to get my opinions out to you guys, and I can add some production value in there and basically give you guys a rundown. So if you guys like the sound of that, let me know, because I will intend to do more of those, showing myself in front of the camera and talking about certain topics and subjects. So if you guys are into that kind of thing, I'll continue, because I feel like there's kind of something nice and personal about you seeing me as I do a video, and I used to do that back in the day, but I haven't done it in a while, so I'm going to try to consider doing that. So let me know what you guys think, but that's what I intend to do. Yes, Jake, I've heard Disenchantment. Isn't that from the creators of The Simpsons or something? Movie Fan, I am considering doing another Deadpool versus video, but it'll probably be one of those videos where I say, if you want to know my thoughts and opinions on Deadpool 1 and 2, watch my Deadpool 1 and 2 versus video. And then I'll say, what I'm really doing is talking about Deadpool 3 in this comparison, and delving into that. And if you guys want to see my thoughts, more detailed thoughts on Deadpool 1 and 2, then you can watch my Deadpool 1 versus 2 video. Let's see. Jacinda says, God bless you for watching The Acolyte, and God help you to get your life back. Indeed. Let's just say indeed for now. I will say I did make some observations, because I binge watched the show, unlike everyone else who had to watch it week to week. And by binge watching it, you do notice certain things that other people watching probably didn't. So that is a good point, I think, to be aware of. Movie Fan, you did a super chat, but then it says message retracted. But thank you very much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. And also, I thought I would just say to you guys, for the first time, we've actually crossed a milestone on Patreon. We've crossed milestones before, but it's been a long time. Usually I've only had about 50 patrons on Patreon, maybe 53 tops, but now we've gotten to 56. So I really do appreciate the support, you guys, really, because you can see the prices on your screen right now. They start at $1 for trailer reactions and your name in the credits when I do my versus videos, and they go up from there. So I really, really appreciate the support, because like I said, all the donations all go towards keeping the channel going and everything. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for continuing to support me on Patreon and even on YouTube memberships, because trust me when I say YouTube memberships is going to have, with just the base YouTube memberships perk, you're going to be getting some really good content coming. There's already content coming if you become a member on YouTube memberships, but I always like to try to give as much back to you guys as I can. Black Box, I actually don't have tickets, although I probably will have a look. Thing is, I'm expecting it to be in the theatre when everyone else is at work. You know, on a work day, on a weekday, and when that happens, it's a 15 movie in the UK. It's been rated 15, so there's not going to be kids going to watch it. So I'm assuming it will be people that don't have babysitters and stuff will not be able to watch it. So I'm going to try to watch it during the day when most likely people are busy. That's what I'm going to try to go in. But I don't know if I should book tickets. I'll take a look. But I'm assuming they'll be like the cinema will constantly have it on like every other half hour to an hour. So I'm sure that I'll be able to get in. In the UK, it is different when you're watching movies that are 15 rated. It's not like the PG-13 equivalent where everyone's going. It's an R-rated movie here as well, so less chance of, you know, people taking your seats. But I'll see what happens. Elite says, I may have to watch Death Note anime series because I'm starting to watch the Batman animated series. Yep. But yeah, that's something which I'm going to be doing. So like I said, trust me, when YouTube memberships, you're going to want to become a member, because I'm planning on doing a watch-along for Loki Season 1. I'm also going to do a watch-along for some other shows. And I might do a watch-along for the new Batman Caped Crusader show and The Penguin when it comes out. That's if I get my timing all done in time, but that's what I'm also planning to do. Matthew says, are you going to make a versus video on Twisters? No, I'm sorry, I won't be. I never watched the first Twister movie when I was younger, or even to this day. So, I'm going to pass on that. Plus, I just wouldn't have been able to do it in time. I'm still working on the Puss in Boots versus video. I've got the Deadpool versus video coming. I've got this Acolyte video coming. Making a video on Twisters, I don't think I would have had time. I would not have had time for that. Movie Fan 2002 says, Eric, considering that your How to Train Your Dragon versus video won't be coming for a while now, could you give us your thoughts here? No, because I haven't written that script. That script, I've got it pretty much written from a while ago. I'm going to have to go back and overlook it. But, you know me, I don't like spoiling my versus videos, even if they won't come out for a while. But like I said, once I hit 100 patrons, then I will go ahead and do it. That's what I said. And as a promise, I intend to keep. But I will say I did like all 3 movies. That's what I'll say right now. So there's not a stinker of a movie in there where I'm like, yeah, that was the bad one. They were all very good. Yep, the Ninder, I will be watching Loki, and you guys can watch it with me live as I'm watching it if you become a YouTube member. And we'll watch it live. You can ask me questions live. You can ask me what I thought of it live. And you can say, what do you think about this scene, or what do you think about that scene? You can ask me specific questions right after I've watched it, and yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So definitely it'll be a party for YouTube members. So like I say, you're definitely going to want to jump in for that. Yes, Fireboy, I will be doing the Acolyte binge watch thing, but I'm going to be titling it a bit different. It will essentially be a Let's Binge Watch video, but it'll be a bit more casual, because I'm trying out something a little different. King K says, did you like Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1? I've not seen it. I'm waiting for them all to come out. Invincible Season 2 pissed me off with that release strategy of giving you like 4 episodes, then making you wait months until you saw the next 4. And you got to see those next 4 weekly. I thought was just a downright flat-out insult, is what I thought. And it actually put me off watching Invincible Season 2. You guys know that only recently I've continued doing my Let's Watch series on Patreon, where I'm going through the episodes. In fact, a few hours ago, I uploaded my Let's Watch episode 6 of Invincible. So clearly I'm just kind of getting tired of... clearly the fact it took me this long, I just got tired of waiting, and I just didn't want to bother continuing. So that was not a good thing that they did, so I don't have to go through that again. So no, I'm not going to watch Cobra Kai Season 6 until it's all out. And it seems like my family are looking to do the same thing as well. Wait for it all to come out. No, the Time Shadow, you've not missed anything yet. I'm just talking about some stuff before we get to the story, so don't worry. I'm waiting for more of you to come and sign on. Jake has done a $7 super chat. Thank you very much, Jake. Jake says, might go see a movie tonight. Wish me luck. Oh, good luck. Maybe Inside Out or The Bike Riders. Anyways, you know I might do a video on the Mandela effect someday. Oh, you will? Cool. Oh man, movie fan. I did not even think of that. You said, movie fan says, can't believe it's been a year since Barbenheimer. That time just flew by. Shocking, man. I think the reason why it feels much quicker is because those interviews for Oppenheimer kept on going, didn't they? So for months and months after, especially because they were trying to nominate it and they wanted to keep the hype around the movie going. So maybe that's why it feels like it was just so recent, because they kept doing interviews for it. Joshman says, Eric, what are your thoughts on the Hawkeye TV show? Did you actually really enjoy that show, and do you still enjoy it to this day? I know you meant Inside Out too, Jake. The first one's not out in theaters. Joshman, I did do a video on Hawkeye. It was a Let's Binge Watch. I'd recommend you watch that. But yeah, my thoughts on it pretty much remain the same, with the exception of Kingpin. I think, upon reflection, he actually has gotten worse. Movie fan says, Eric, what is your rating for The Dark Knight Rises? A 10 out of 10. It's got its problems, for sure. And I'd say it's the least good of the three. But I gotta say, when it was over in the cinema, I gave it a 10. I still really love that film. By the way, speaking of Deadpool 3, have you guys seen Kevin Feige doing a bunch of interviews for Deadpool and Wolverine? It's like he's really trying to make sure that his name is on Deadpool and Wolverine. He wants me to remind people that, yeah, I'm a producer for this movie. Because he's been a producer for a lot of shit coming out from the MCU lately. So it's like he's doing far more interviews with this than he has for any of the previous projects. And in interviews, when they're asking him, how do you balance these characters and all that kind of stuff, he says that it's ultimately Ryan Reynolds who made this decision and that decision and brought the heart into this movie and everything. And it's like, yeah, that basically just means that you're putting yourself in these interviews, but it is, as I have said, it's basically Ryan Reynolds running the show. This is his movie, not an MCU movie. So Feige wants it to seem like, yeah, we're putting our name on quality, but what's coming out next? It's Agatha all along. Then it's going to be the new Captain America Brave New World movie. And then it's going to also be, I think, Ironheart somewhere along the way. And then they're going to also do... What was the other thing they were going to do? They're also going to do that Thunderbolts film. So yeah, it's like he thinks that it's like he's going to be look better in the eyes of people, and he's even talking about Blade, but everything is still a clusterfuck down there, and it's all down to his poor management. Jess says, Eric, how is Blade and the Marvel Netflix superheroes in the MCU, because they are from other studios? They were good, except for Blade 3, which was not good. Charleston, what have you said? Kevin Feige's getting his name on the Hollywood Walk of Fame next week. Oh, he is. Worst timing. They should have given him that after Endgame, even though that was really the Russo Brothers. Sonic says, let's be honest, who cares about Ironheart and Thunderbolts? Exactly. Also, who cares about the new Captain America movie coming out? Because I made a video on that recently. I don't. I would have if that show was good, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show, but it wasn't. Sonic, what was it? Elite says, it feels like he's trying to hide that it's a Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman movie. I only saw a couple interviews. I didn't find that one where he's trying to hide. It feels like he is saying that it is their movie. But, yeah, he's showing up in a lot of interviews like he really wants his face to be on those interviews. Because right now, the only interviews I'm seeing are Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, the director, and Kevin Feige. Feige's really trying to put his face around with this movie. By the way, you guys tell me this. I've been noticing this about Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. Have you noticed that in the interviews, they've got smiley faces and everything, but don't you just feel like the excitement or the energy has kind of been sucked out of them? They seem like old men now. Like, I know they're older, but they seem like old men. Like, they just haven't got the energy to be that excited. Even when they were shooting the movie at points, and, you know, you'd see little bits of interviews with them or whatever. I don't know if it seems... I don't know. This could be me just making a wrong assumption. But it does seem like I'm looking at two guys whose family life or home life is just not going too well right now. Like, we know Hugh Jackman had a divorce from his wife, which was surprising, because I think they've been together for about as long as I've been born. So I was surprised to hear that, so I understand why Hugh Jackman is probably not happy right now, which normally they would be happy when making a movie like this. But you can tell why he's not entirely... his heart is not fully in it. But it's bizarre how Ryan Reynolds also seems like he's a bit drained. It's like, if you've ever seen guys where it seems like mentally they're just kind of drained from home life, that's what I kind of see in them, which is bizarre. But yeah, maybe it's just me, but do you guys see that? Matthew says, also, thanks for getting me into Young Sheldon. Pretty good show, not gonna lie. Oh, cool, I'm glad you enjoy it. Yeah, it's very wholesome show. You don't get shows like that anymore. So yeah. I don't know if you've seen Big Bang Theory, but it is a spin-off of that. And yeah, it's like if you've watched that as well, you even get more out of the show. Even though the continuity between the two is not that strong. Big Bash says, I think life just happened. I agree. That's what it seems like. It seems like life has happened. And normally, any other time, this is one of the times they would be the most happy in their career. But watching them now, just look at them in thumbnails. It seems like it's not like a video you want to click. Like, that excitement or energy on them is not on the thumbnail. It seems like they're... You could just tell that they're not so happy, is what it seems. Big Bash says, it will be just as bad as Fan 4 Stick. What will be? Fireboy, that's not even a question. Of course I'm looking more forward to the Batman Part 2 over Captain America Brave New World. I'm looking more forward to the Penguin show than I am Captain America Brave New World. Oh, hi, Pop Culture Fan. Glad to see you join the stream. See, that's why I always try to give you guys some time so more of you can join, so we'll all really be able to get into these stories, and we'll all be involved. Eric Carter, have you seen Andor? I have not, but I have been watching... The Acolyte on my phone, which I never normally watch movies or shows on my phone. I watch probably little sitcoms maybe if I wanted to, but even then I don't do that often. But I thought let's do it with The Acolyte because from what I've heard the effects are so bad and I won't need to watch it on a big screen, so I thought alright fine, I'll go around, watch it on my phone, it'll be easier. And it's actually quite nice watching something on your phone because sometimes you just don't feel like sitting in front of a projector screen or sitting in front of a TV screen. Sometimes you just kind of want to just chill and you don't want to hold a huge device like an iPad in front of you or something, or a laptop, and a phone for that is perfect. So I haven't watched a movie on my phone since when I reviewed the HTC One S, back when I used to review smartphones on my channel. That was so long ago. And yeah, to watch a movie now or show now on my phone is quite nice. Especially because my phone has probably the best screen we have in this house on any device. Kevin says, does Toy Story 2 teach about supply and demand? And there's a $2 donation there. Thank you very much, buddy. I always say these donations really help a huge deal. So thank you very much. Does Toy Story 2 teach about supply and demand? I think it didn't really teach much about supply and demand. It was certainly there in the background, but I feel it was more about... It felt more like they were trying to talk about the... It was basically the life of Woody, basically the life of a product, like just like what Buzz said to him, like, you know, when Woody was like, Buzz, I really want to do this. Then he goes, to do what, Woody? Stand behind some glass and never be played again? Some life. Like, for me, it felt more like how you take care of your stuff and how ultimately it feels like don't just leave it on display or something. It seemed like they were trying to say to basically enjoy stuff. It's hard to describe because I need to see Toy Story 2. I've not seen the Toy Story movies in a long, long time. But I do feel like they were trying... Whatever message there was in there, it was really between that scene when Woody and Buzz were debating over what Woody is versus what Woody wanted to do, which was just be a display product. I feel like there was something there in terms of commentary. Jake says, to be fair, Deadpool is probably the most bisexual character ever. I don't think he is. I think he makes those jokes, but he's always really into the girls. And Wolverine sometimes, but that's only because I feel like he's kind of like fanboys around Wolverine in a way. Like, he's just as excited to cross over with Wolverine as we are to see them cross over. So he kind of, like, you know, lets fanboys out in his own way. That's how I see it. At least that's how I've always seen it. Spirit Hero says, Moana was the last Disney movie. I liked it, so I'm not looking forward to them destroying it. Well, we'll see if they destroy it or not. And Jake says, Toy Story 3 should have been final movie. Yes, I agree. Alright, everyone. We've done enough of the opening here and done this Q&A. I take it then, it's time we get into the stories. Before I do, one of you says, Eric, can I really recommend Andor? First 3 episodes feel extremely long, but after that, the remainder of the series hooks you from start to finish. Yeah, I saw episode 1. It really bored me, which is a shame because I love politics in Star Wars. The Clone Wars did it so well, but here it was so boring. So yeah, I hear that the first half of the show is slow and the second half is better. But I'll probably watch that on my phone as well, even though the effects on that are meant to be really good. So I watched the first episode on my projector. I'll probably watch the later episodes on my phone because I feel like that is a quicker way for me to get through these shows, which otherwise I would either not watch or just convince myself that I will watch at some point when really I won't. Alright then. Time to get into the stories. Story number 1. The Russo Brothers. Are they back or are they not? Now, there is an article that came out recently, and a lot of rumours coming out, where it said that Marvel shocker, this is from the Hollywood Reporter, one of the many articles, Marvel shocker, Russo Brothers in talks to direct next 2 Avengers movies. Now, everyone was excited about this, and everyone was posting this as if it was confirmed news, like, wow, the Russo Brothers are back. They're not back yet. It says here that the Russo Brothers are in talks to direct the next 2 Avengers movies. There was also an article that came out recently, and I think I shared this on my Instagram or on my TikTok. Or was it also, if not that, it was on my Threads account. And I basically shared an article that came out where it said that the Russo Brothers pitched Marvel something they wanted to do with Avengers 5 and 6, and Marvel said no. So this, even though it says they're in talks, they could end up having a falling out, basically. So you don't truly know if they're in here or not, if they're back or not. Even Kevin Feige recently said, but he could be lying, playing coy. He says that he's always heard a lot of people are directing Avengers, the next Avengers. He goes, that's just the name of the week this week. Well, let's see what they do, what the name is next week. So Feige's playing coy. You know, he's not going to tell anyone because they're asking him this during his interviews for Deadpool and Wolverine, funnily enough. And I think, I'll tell you what I think. I think right now, they don't truly know. I think they're still talking to the Russo Brothers, and they'll be talking to them till the last minute up until Comic-Con. Because I think if they're talking to the Russo Brothers, it means that they've basically reached their wit's end. Because for some reason, they did not want to hire the Russo Brothers for Secret Wars. But I think they now realize they are in deep, deep shit, and they need a Hail Mary. They need a miracle, and they think the closest we can get for that is the Russo Brothers. So I think that's why they are now trying to bring the Russo Brothers in. But also the Russo Brothers are, they've got ideas, and they're not going to be controlled by Marvel, even though Marvel love controlling their directors. So I think that's why Marvel disagreed with the first proposal that the Russo Brothers made about the story that they wanted to tell. And I think either what they're going to do now is come up with a completely different story, or they're going to make a couple compromises and basically say, this is the story we want to tell, Feige. You know, if you want it, we'll do it. If not, we're not interested. Or they can think of compromising and saying, all right, we'll do this what we want and a bit of what you want. I think they should stick to their guns. Feige is the one in the hot seat, not them. He needs them more than they need him. Although, going by their filmography lately, that might not be true, so who knows? Maybe the Russo brothers also need Kevin Feige and the MCU to kind of restore their name, because they've been making bad movies there on the, you know, when they've left the MCU. So I think that this is what I think overall. Let's just take out whatever conversations they're having. I think that the Russo brothers will come back because they need the MCU, but Marvel sure as heck need them. And in terms of, right now, Marvel, people have no faith in them at all. But if they put out a news report and an announcement that the Russo brothers are coming back to make the next 2 Avengers movies, all of a sudden, they've gone from no trust to, oh, they're coming back. Well, what are they going to do? So, all of a sudden, that will revive intrigue in the MCU. Because right now, the MCU has no intrigue. People don't trust them. Because Marvel, for the last Phase 4 and 5, they've been promising these big stories that people wanted to see, like Secret Invasion and the Kang storyline. And it's all just been very bad. So they can make as many promises as they want. Feige is saying that after Deadpool and Wolverine, it'll be the Mutant Saga. Even though the Multiverse Saga, I feel like, has just not even been finished yet, and it's just been bad. So something tells me that even Feige knows, just because he's saying the Mutant Saga doesn't mean it's going to be good. So, Saeed says it great. You cannot live with your own failure. And where did that bring you? Back to me. He retracted that message, but I read it just in time, Saeed. Now, yeah. That's, So I think ultimately, you know what? I think that they are going to make a deal with the Russo brothers, and I think the Russo brothers will be hired, and they're going to announce their return during this upcoming Comic-Con, is what I think. So, yep. I think that's what is ultimately going to happen. Excuse me. I've been recovering from a cold, so forgive me. But yeah, that's what I think is happening. They're going to bring the Russos back because they need them. They need that clout. They need that good publicity. They need that trust from the audience. And they're not going to get the trust back. They will from some fans who are quick to conclusions. You know, presumably the same people that said Ant-Man 3 was going to be great. So they're going to try to win people over that way. And additionally, they want the Russo brothers back because they are the ones that made them their best movies. Although, it is interesting that a lot of people are now turning on Avengers Endgame. There's people, like, normally I think everyone will be happy, but there's people who are, surprisingly, who are not excited about it because they are annoyed with some of the creative choices that the Russo brothers made. And people don't seem to be looking at Avengers Endgame as fondly as they once did. Now, I will admit, I didn't like what the Russo brothers did with Hulk by turning him into Professor Hulk. It worked decently with the movie, but it royally screwed him after that. So a lot of people are not happy with what the Russo brothers did in that regard, and they've got some other problems. And there's people that say, in retrospect, Avengers Endgame is not even a good movie. There's people that actually say that. So it's interesting how the tide has kind of turned on the Russo brothers a little bit. I did not expect that, but yeah. Ultimately, I think the Russo brothers are going to come back, and I think that their return will be announced at this upcoming Comic-Con. I think that's what the goal is, basically. And I think Feige is trying to keep it quiet so that announcement can surprise people. But it's no surprise to me why they tried to get the Agatha All Along trailer and the Captain America Brave New World trailer out before Comic-Con, because they didn't want to focus on it. So they're just trying to get those two out the door, and then have people focus on these other bigger announcements, which they hope will make them excited. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But the Russo brothers coming back could be good, but at the same time, they've not been here like throughout phases 4 and 5 like they were in the original MCU at the beginning. Because the Russo brothers did the Winter Soldier, they did Civil War, then they did Infinity War and Endgame. So they were there throughout all these movies, like basically telling a 4-part story, because you could ignore all the other MCU films and just focus on the Winter Soldier, the Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, the Russo brothers movies. Me and my family certainly have, Because when we rewatch Marvel movies, we really just rewatch the Russo Brothers films, and their stories all work. So I think that without the Russo Brothers in Phase 4 and 5 having like their Winter Soldier or Civil War in there, I feel like jumping straight to Avengers 5 and 6 is not going to work out as well for them, because they're not going to have established any of these characters. There's so many characters in the MCU now, and all of them did not take off. None of them have taken off, quite frankly. The only ones that have taken off are the ones that, like Doctor Strange and Wanda, but those characters have been character assassinated. So it's like, who's going to want to watch these characters now that they've been character assassinated? Even Thor and Thor Love and Thunder. So yeah. The Russo Brothers, I think, it's pretty much a slam dunk at this point. I think they will come back. The Russo Brothers will come back, and they will announce it at Comic-Con in a few days, which will be the 25th of July. I think that's when Comic-Con is, isn't it? Or is it the 27th? Or did Comic-Con start at 25th, and then Marvel is on 26 or 27? Basically, Comic-Con will happen right after the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, so yeah. Exactly, Spirit Hero. Like I said in my video, it was Wanda all along, not Agatha all along. So, what do you guys think of this? Do you think the Russo Brothers are coming back for real, or do you think that they're not, and that Marvel potentially could just make them change their mind because they might not give them full creative control? Sonic says, Captain Eric, what if the Russos direct Spider-Man 4? That would be cool. I'd like to see them direct a Spider-Man movie. But I don't know, we'll see. They're apparently still writing it. Gwen says, I think they are coming back. JWK says, I think they should come back. Sonic says, they should come back. Please, Kevin, be smart for once. Jess says, I hope so, because I want it to be special. This is the last straw. Ranger Goat says there's a high chance the Russo Brothers come back. Elite says, yes, they are coming back, and Marvel definitely needs them. The English Scotsman says, only 4 more days before the movie Event of the Summer arrives. Let's see how it does for Marvel. The Ninder says, Marvel are beyond desperate if they really are getting them back, in my opinion. Well, for some reason, it felt like they were just ignoring the Russo Brothers, because they weren't even considering them for directing or even writing Secret Wars. They got that guy who wrote, was it Doctor Strange 2, to write the Kang Dynasty, and the Ant-Man writer, I think, to write Secret Wars. So it's like they were just ignoring the Russo Brothers and they didn't want them back. But now the Russo Brothers are coming back. It's like, yeah, what are you going to do now? It's like essentially that's what they've been caught in. They've been caught in a situation where they're like, damn, the writers we wanted to run this are not doing a good job. So what are we going to do now? And then, yeah, they went back to the Russos after it seemed like they were acting like the Russos. They don't need them anymore. Even though the Russos have made the best movies in the entire MCU. Matthew says, Marvel needs more hits, so taking risks isn't an option. Well, a risk can be an option, but it's like, are they going to take the right risks, or are they just going to be making the stupid choices again? Big Bash says, it is common sense to bring them back. Phantom Popfire says, hi bro, I just joined. Oh, good, great to see you in the stream, buddy. It seems like all of you want the Russo Brothers back in, which is great to see, because I agree, I would want them back in. Would it make me excited for the project? No, but it would make me keep my eyes open for it, as opposed to just shut, which is what it would have been. So it would at least provoke some interest and intrigue. That's what I think. Drake says Russo Brothers will pretty much punch Marvel in their faces when Marvel tries to control them. Well, yeah, let's hope so. Jake says a real risk would be making a movie of Frog Thor. Oh, the Ninder says it's literally 3 a.m. where I'm at. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy, about that. But luckily, this is earlier I'm doing the stream. If I did it later, it would have been even later. You wouldn't be able to join the stream. 3 a.m. where you're at, it's 8:30 p.m. where I'm at. Samantha says if they don't bring them back, Marvel should be thrown into the bin. That's one way of putting it. Gwen says I've read fanfics that are better written than modern MCU films. Jake says nah, I will watch that movie. Yeah. Miles says Jeff Loveness wrote Ant-Man 3 and Michael Waldron wrote Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which both of these writers are good writers in my opinion. I disagree, Miles. I don't know about their other projects, but I'm looking at the projects that they did in the MCU and they are not fit for the material, I don't think. Jake says, well, it could be funny. They made a talking raccoon work. What do you mean, Jake? Was this in reference to something I answered earlier? Because James Gunn made that talking raccoon work. Elite says, more like Marvel had no choice to go to the Russo brothers. Yeah. Kevin has done a $2 super chat. This is his 5th super chat on a live stream. Thank you very much for that, Kevin. And Kevin says, how come Will Smith didn't get arrested at the Oscars? Because he's rich. No other reason. He's rich and he's Will Smith. Status and money. And status again. Because that is really the only reason they did not arrest him. But people are saying they should have. Sonic says Kevin Feige donated. Oh wait, it's just Kevin. Nice one. But yeah. Spirit Hero, don't remind me. They'll never know what you sacrificed for them. That was such a stupid thing. The nerve. I would walk up to her and say, you bitch. That was such a insulting thing. Yeah, Spirit Hero, he did. Weinstein is also getting a... Was it a retrial or something this November? For some reason, I feel like... It just seems very odd what's going on around that if you read the articles. Like, it's almost like he's been wronged, which he hasn't. If you go off of the people's testimonies. It's like the system is trying to get him out. So I think that is going to happen probably by the end of the year. It seems like it is. Oh, Miles has just corrected himself earlier. Miles says, $2 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Miles says, I meant that they aren't good writers. Sorry. But yeah, I will make more videos on the channel. In that format I did with the Captain America 4 video, Captain America 4 video. I'll make more videos on the channel where I talk about... So when Deadpool Wolverine comes out, I'm thinking of making a video where I talk about, is the MCU back on track? Because when a movie like this comes out, and we know it's going to be a good movie, Ryan Reynolds, I trust Ryan Reynolds when it comes to making a good movie like this, especially with his Deadpool film. People are going to all ask the question, is the MCU back on track? That's always what they ask. And I'm never normally in that conversation when it's happening, but this time I think I'm going to try and see what happens. Because I hope people will hear what I say and be like, yeah, you've got a point, as opposed to just blindly following and saying, yeah, they are back, when they're not. Joshman says, Eric, are you more hyped for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse than Captain America Brave New World? Yes, I am. Sonic, yeah, go right ahead. No, Ryan Reynolds did not direct it. That was John Krasinski, Spirit Hero. He acted in If. He didn't direct If. And by the way, guys, remember, there's the Streamlabs donation link there too if you want to donate through that. And I've got basically all of this shows up here on my screen if anyone does donate via that, and I'll answer your question that way too. Oh, look at that. Yako has done 2 £1 donations. Let's see here. On Streamlabs. Thank you very much for that, Yako. I really appreciate it. He says, "Hey Eric, hope you're feeling better. I've been getting better myself and I'm almost done with a movie project. And I do agree with you with Kevin Feige and somewhat with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. But they still seem excited for this movie and I'm excited for Deadpool and Wolverine." Cool, great. The second one says, "I don't know if you saw my other super chat. Honestly, the MCU has gotten so bad that the Russo Brothers can't save them. But that's just me." I agree, Yako. There is that question of, can the Russos even fix it, even with their skill and talent? I don't know if they can, to be quite frank with you. There's also a rumor recently that came out about the female actress that is playing, her name was Jennifer Garner, who's playing the female Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four movie. There's a rumor going around that it's going to be a one and done when she's in it. So I don't know. Just seems, are they thinking that they don't want to keep her in because it might be problematic for fans and they won't like it? I don't know, but if that's what they thought, they wouldn't have put her in the first place. All right. So, do you guys have anything else to say about this subject, or shall we move on to the next story? Let me know. Gwen says, "If I were in charge of Marvel, I would retcon everything after Phase 3 and start all over." Interesting. I wouldn't start all over because I think retconning, there's only so far you can go with retconning. You can retcon something like, say, in a smart way, like what, say, X-Men Days of Future Past did, where they made it part of the story and part of the gimmick. But then there's just retconning and saying, just gone. And I don't think it works that way. So, what I would say is that you have to basically make something in the movie where you just trash everything. That's why I said either have, in the next Avengers movie, whoever the villain is, I hope it's not Kang, whoever the villain is, have them come in and to establish their dominance and threat level, have them kill so many of these new Avengers, these new heroes that Marvel have done that have not taken off, and just take them off the board and do it in a way to where it will show the strength level of this villain, and simultaneously, as well as working towards the villain in the story, you'll have fixed some of the problems in the MCU, which are characters that people don't want. So that's what I would say. And I think one of the first ones they should kill off to make a point is Captain Marvel. Sonic says, "I would remove some projects like Love and Thunder and She-Hulk and Secret Invasion." Thing is, they should have known better themselves before they made such pieces of crap that this was not going to be good, but they just release it anyway. Even that Agatha All Along doesn't look good either. Yep, Spirit Hero, you're absolutely right. He says Death from Puss in Boots 2 was more threatening than Kang in Ant-Man 3. Completely agree. Movie King, Movie King says, Deadpool or Wolverine won't save the MCU by itself, but maybe it could pave the way for a new and hopefully good direction, because this movie can be good, but if the next MCU project is bad, then shit. Here's the thing, I would like to think that, Movie King, but that is not the case. Because if Kevin Feige was 100% behind this movie, in terms of, like, you know, his producer status, and he chose directors and things, then yeah, you would think that they would go back, they would be finding the right path. But because it's not Kevin Feige calling the shots, this is a Ryan Reynolds movie. This is like another situation like what we had with Guardians of the Galaxy, where you got one good movie in the MCU from the director, who was the creative. That's how Guardians 3 was great. But the movies that came out after that were still bad. But then you also now are having Deadpool and Wolverine. And again, another good movie from the creative, but then the rest of the movies are going to be bad again. This is not fixing the core of the problem that's in the MCU. This is just one creative coming and doing a great job. The MCU is still running the way it's been running. It's not going to make anything better, if you ask me. And let's see. Oh, wow. We got Jake, who is at it again. Drake says, here we go again, Jake. Who's done 70 Canadian dollars. Seriously, Jake, thank you very much. Your support, it really is never goes unforgotten. So thank you very, very much, Jake. I really appreciate it. You put a smile to my face. Jake says, question, do you feel like the MCU would be in a better place if Disney didn't buy them out? Interesting question. Anyways, what was your first Star Wars film? By the way, what's a movie you feel you were too harsh on or not hard enough? That's some very good questions in there. We'll start with the first one. Do you feel like the MCU would be in a better place if Disney didn't buy them out? Well, at the beginning, no. I think ultimately Disney buying them out helped them in terms of getting funding for all these movies and making, having them all in one place allowed the MCU to kind of grow. So I think that helped in that way. But now, basically all the flaws of Disney, and this is the flaws that are not just in Marvel, but they're in Disney, they're in Pixar, they're in Lucasfilm, and now they've also made their way to Marvel. All these problems are now starting to come into all of their divisions, and Marvel is just one of them. So I think now it's becoming a problem for them. So yes, I think MCU would be in a better place if they just stopped after Endgame, quite frankly, is what I think. But no, I think Disney definitely did help it get bigger and kind of like allow more characters to be in and allow funding for the movies. So that's what I think was allowed. But now, look at all this funding, it's not doing anything, and these projects all visually look like crap for how much money has gone into them. Like Secret Invasion, like I said, $210 million. That's about a bit more than... that's about... Yeah, about the same price as Matt Reeves' The Batman. And look at the huge difference between the two. And Jake then says, anyways, what was your first Star Wars film? My first Star Wars film, I think, was either The Phantom Menace or A New Hope. I think it was A New Hope the more I think about it. I think it was A New Hope, yeah. And then Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then I think I saw Phantom Menace. And at that point, The Phantom Menace was the newest one. So I hadn't even seen Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith yet because they weren't out. So that tells you how long ago that was. And by the way, what's a movie you feel you were too harsh on or not hard enough? A movie I feel I was too harsh on was... one of them is probably Tomb Raider, the recent one that came out. I said they were trying to do the strong female character thing, but looking back, I don't think it was as bad as I was making out. I think I was just getting frustrated with the trend going up, and that with this one, even though it was happening to a lesser degree, I still saw it, and it was just so much on my mind whenever it was happening. So I'd say that one was probably, I was too harsh on it for that reason. And in terms of not hard enough, I would say... I'd say I wasn't as hard as I should have been on Joss Whedon's Justice League in my Justice League versus Avengers video that I made a long time ago. It's interesting, it wasn't just me though, but a lot of YouTubers, movie critics, who were reviewing the Joss Whedon Justice League we all seem to be quite positive on it. And then years later, we look back and we're like, wow, I'm surprised I gave it that rating. You know, I think Jeremy Jones did it, Angry Joe did it, I think Stuckman did it, Chris Stuckman did it as well. There's a lot of reviewers, and including myself, where we all look back and think, wow, for some reason, I don't know what was going on in our minds at that point. Maybe we dropped our standards so much, but we seem to have fun with it. But then when you watch it now, you realize how it's not a good movie. So I'd say that, Jake, in answer to your 4 very good questions. And again, Jake, thank you very much for that very generous donation. I really appreciate it, and it really will help me, so thank you very much. I've heard of Project X, Jess. I've never seen it. Alright. Next story then, everyone. We'll move away from the story about the Russo Brothers, because I think we spent a lot of time on it. So, next story. The Acolyte. Now, last week, you'll probably remember that I did these charts here. These charts basically showed that on this chart here, it shows... I'm going to make it bigger so you won't see my face, but don't worry, I'm still here. If you look here, you'll see on the overall chart, the Acolyte does not show up at all. And that's very bad. That is very bad for a show that costs $180 million to not show up in the overall chart, even though shows like The Boys do show up in that chart. And other shows like Sweet Tooth show up on that chart. That is just shocking. Absolutely shocking. That they're not able to show up the Acolyte on this chart. That's very embarrassing and bad for Disney. And then I showed you this. This is basically, and again I'm going to make this bigger so you won't see me. This is basically the originals chart, the original streaming shows, and the Acolyte with its second week, which is where the 3rd episode is. It's only in 6th place, beaten by a show called Evil, Perfect Match, and Sweet Tooth. You would never think that a Star Wars property would get beaten by something called Sweet Tooth or Perfect Match or Evil, which I think is I think it's a foreign show. This Evil, I think it is. So shocking. Those are horribly bad numbers. However, keep this in mind. However, the Nielsen ratings have come out again, and here we go. Here's the first one. This is the latest Nielsen rating. Again, I'm gonna make it bigger. On the overall chart, there is no Acolyte here, so the Acolyte still hasn't shown up, but The Boys has still maintained his place. House of the Dragon has gone right up to number 4, 4th place, which is excellent. But again, you'll notice there is no Acolyte here. So, yeah, that is not good. That is very bad. But then, it'll get even worse. Because, here is the originals charts. This is where original shows are supposed to be. And you'll remember that The Acolyte was in 6th place last week. Well, take a look now. Take a look at these. Take a look. Can you see The Acolyte anywhere? You can't see it, can you? And do you know why? The reason why you can't see it is because it's dropped out of the top 10. Yep, The Acolyte has actually dropped out of the top 10. And yeah, that pretty much means it's dead. If it can't make the top 10. And if it got beat by shows like King of Collectibles, The Golden Touch, Mayor of Kingstown, America's Sweetheart, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, a Star Wars show got beaten by all of this. A Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, it beat The Acolyte, a Star Wars project that cost $180 million. Something which I am telling you that all these shows did not cost at all. So, yeah, The Acolyte is dead, basically. It's a show that is not... It just goes to show that this was a show that was just dead on arrival, and it was never a good one. But Disney went ahead and did it anyway because they're stupid. Or because Kathleen Kennedy got them into doing it, and they thought it looked bad if they cancelled it. Oh man, is this so bad? And plus, I've seen The Acolyte. I know why no one continued watching it. It got really bad by the time you hit episode 3. And it was just kept getting bad from that point on. Jake, I will talk about what's bad about it. But everything is bad about it from the point to the fact that even the production value for a $180 million show, it always looks like it's just shot on a soundstage, and that these are very obvious sets. Very rarely does it look like they actually go on location, and when they do, you can tell it's only for a scene or two, but then they go back to the soundstage. So production value is bad. There's one episode I watched where I think it was yesterday, where they went on a speeder, and it is the fakest looking speeder effects I've seen out of anything Star Wars. I mean, even Return of the Jedi, which came out many decades ago now, had much better speeder effects than what we saw in this episode. It was shockingly bad. You keep thinking, where does the $180 million worth of money go for this? The $180 million budget. It was shocking. And the dialogue is terrible. Characters make stupid choices, like one character, who is the bad one, says that she wants to turn herself in. But then when the people are trying to arrest her, she fights them off with knives and stuff. It's like, didn't you want to turn yourself in? Now you're running away? It's like this character just can't decide what she wants. And as an audience member, you just don't care. Because it feels like the show doesn't know what she wants, the writers don't know what she wants, and you as the viewer are watching thinking, these people just have no idea what they want these characters to do. So there is so much bad about it. Stay tuned, I will make a video on it. Yep, Secret Invasion is another one. Jess says, Eric, I'm with you. Please rant on it and tear it to shreds, please. Yeah, hopefully I'll get around to doing that. That's something on my list of things to do. Andor has better bike effects. That's cool, Trevor. I can't remember if I saw a biker in the first episode. I probably did. Just you wait, Jake, until I release my video. You'll know exactly how bad it is then. Oh, hi, Classic Brickman. Great to see you here. We're on the second story right now. Samantha, she is. Are you talking about when she goes, you can't go, and her sister goes, yes, I can. What will you do? Then she goes, I will kill you. That was so out of nowhere. So out of nowhere. And she went so evil so quick. It was just shocking. Yeah, this was but yeah, it's a terrible show, and it deserves the crappy ratings. Alright then, who's ready to move on to the next story? Okay. So, this is the third story, and that is that Kang has been recast. Apparently, this is something that I heard from Daniel RPK, who's a very reliable insider, who says that Marvel has found its new Kang the Conqueror recast confirmed. So basically he's confirmed it, and he says that, yep, they found their new Kang, and I'm assuming they're going to basically let this Kang, this new actor who's playing Kang, I'm assuming they're going to reveal him in Comic-Con, is what I think, which is right around the corner. Or, if they don't want to, you know, if they don't want any drama or anything, for people that were supporting Jonathan Majors, they'll probably just not show him and say that he'll debut in they'll probably show him in a trailer debut for one of their future projects, is what I think. So that's probably what they'll end up doing. So yeah, what do you guys think? I personally think they should just forget Kang, because I think Kang has been ruined. They had one chance to build him up, and Kang the Conqueror, who was supposed to be the most powerful version of Kang, got defeated by Ant-Man and the Wasp. There is no coming back from that once you suck that much like he does. Look at him in that chair. It looks like he looks defeated. That almost looks like Jonathan Major's reaction right now to being recast. Anthony says, I'm surprised that Andor was successful despite being under Kennedy's grasp. It's because she hired someone who worked for George Lucas and actually worked on the Clone Wars back in the day. Let me find his name. I can't remember it right now. It was Tony Gilroy, that was it. Tony Gilroy is someone who is an accomplished writer in Hollywood. I think he's worked on some high-profile movies and things. So this was all on him. Even the production of the show was all on him because he said that he didn't want to use any CGI or the volume. He wanted everything to be practical. And from what I hear and what I saw, the effects looked really good. So, yeah. He's very, very good when it comes to doing this stuff. So, yeah, that's why it ended up looking so good. Elite says they should try to get rid of the old Kang and replace with a much more powerful Kang with better writing. Yeah, I think they need to introduce a new Kang, one that's not called Kang the Conqueror, but called Kang the Destroyer or something, I don't know. Just give him another name and say this is really the most powerful Kang as opposed to this loser. Caesar says, I have a theory that the next villain for Avengers 5 will kill almost all the versions of Kang, and the one living will be the new actor. Maybe. Big Bash goes, Vilgax, then Kang. If you've seen Ben 10, you guys will know who Vilgax is. Drake Holly says, yeah, to be fair, Doctor Doom is a Fantastic Four villain, but who knows, Gwen? We will just have to see. Yeah. I'll say this. Did you guys hear the rumor? And you guys answer me. Did you guys hear the rumor that Robert Downey Jr. is going to come back as Iron Man in a different universe, and that Iron Man will turn into Doctor Doom? Did you guys hear about that rumor that went around? Phantom Pop have not seen Loki, but become a YouTube member and you can you could watch the show with me live when I watch it soon. That's gonna be my intention. Please God, no. Yes, I heard it. Oh no, I hope that isn't true. Yeah, a lot of you have heard of it. Yeah. I heard that from the person that reported it was John's, was his name Snyder or something, who basically reported it. He goes, I could have sworn I said that this did not end up being true or something like that. So, yeah, that's not happening. Everyone who's afraid of that, you can rest easy that that's not happening. Billy says, do you think Iron Lad will show up at any moment? No, he won't. I don't know if there is an Iron Lad, but if there is, he wouldn't. Because they've got Riri Williams now, haven't they? They got diverse little Iron Lad. So that is what you'll be getting in what was our show supposed to be called? What was Riri Williams' show supposed to be called? I lost it. Ironheart, that was it. Ironheart. Thank you, Spirit Hero. Appreciate that. So yeah, she's gonna be the Iron Lad. It's not gonna be, if there is like a Iron Lad, a boy character or whatever, it's not gonna be that. Gwen says, I was more scared of my water bottle than Kang the Conqueror. But yeah, so yeah, they're going to focus on her. But again, no one's going to care about her. She actually brought the movie down of Black Panther 2. Her subplot just made no sense and was taking screen time away from M'Baku, who I really wanted to see how he handled T'Challa's death. But yeah, we didn't get to see that. Spirit Hero goes, Black Girl, Super Magic. Yep. As the Marvels reference. Fireboy says, Eric, do you want to see Doctor Doom replace Kang in Avengers 5 and Secret Wars? Yes, that would be cool. But they should build him up in that new Fantastic Four movie, but they keep dilly-dallying. They take so freaking long. They do, Marvel. Jake says, Plankton is more menacing than Kang. Oh, yeah, he is. I'd be far more into the rivalry between Plankton and Mr. Krabs than I would be the rivalry between Kang and whatever Avengers we have. Joshua says, Eric, I actually did hear that we might possibly get the trailer for Sonic 3 this upcoming week. We will find out hopefully by the end of this week. Cool. I also heard this Tuesday we're going to get another Joker trailer. Which is funny, they release it right after Deadpool Wolverine comes out. They start to release that trailer a couple days after. Well, actually, sorry, it's a couple days before. They're releasing their trailer for their R-rated movie. That's funny. Billy, they might do Mephisto. I've heard rumors that they're trying to find a way of bringing him in. It's just that no one's tuning into the MCU anymore. And they'll see. Fireboy says the Joker is way scarier than Kang. But yeah, I'm curious to finally see a trailer. They're taking a long time, aren't they, in showing the trailer for this? Oh yeah, Joey Nichols, I totally agree. The High Evolutionary from Guardians 3 was a way better villain than Kang. Elite says Eric the Destroyer will be a better villain than Kang the Conqueror. Eric the Destroyer. That's funny. Would it be cool if Tom Hardy played Ghost Rider? No, it wouldn't be. I'm really just kind of put off of Tom Hardy. I feel like he's just going for the paychecks, I feel. Like, ever since he was in Venom and stuff, I think Venom has kind of made me lose respect for him. Because I don't like his performance in those movies. I mean, look at him from going from Bane, how he had those, like, death stares that he did with his eyes, and see how he went from that to Venom. It's so bad. May from Total Drama All-Stars was a better villain than Kang, and he was a joke. Krang is better than Kang. Yeah, it rhymes, says Jake. Yeah, that's a very good one. Phantom Popfire says, Eric, what villain do you want to replace Kang with? Well, I'd say Mr. Sinister. A big X-Men villain, especially if they are going to make this the Mutant Saga. But quite frankly, I would have wanted Mr. Sinister to be the villain in Deadpool and Wolverine instead of having skinny female Charles Xavier or whatever she's supposed to be. I mean, you'd want to see Deadpool Wolverine fight a big villain, not someone like her. She looks like a generic MCU villain. So I hope the twist is in the movie that she is not the main villain, and then we get a proper main villain that they've been hiding this whole time. That's what I hope, but I doubt it. Big Bash, of course, Ozai is a better villain. He's a far better villain. Alright then, so let's move on now to the Q&A. You can ask me whatever questions you want to ask, and as always, any super chats or Streamlabs chats would be greatly appreciated. And if you join me on Patreon for the $1 perk or any of the perks, I will put your name right here where it says new Patreon members. I'll put your name underneath that, and it will remain there for on this live stream and for this live stream video for the rest of for the rest of your life, basically. So, yep. And also, if you want to click that join button to become a YouTube member, that is also available for you to do right now as well. Samantha says, do you think you could defeat Kang, Eric? Well, if I had the same plot armor that Ant-Man and the Wasp had, then yeah, I could. I mean, when Kang was disintegrating people with his hand, he was disintegrating everyone else. But as soon as he did it to Ant-Man and his family, all of a sudden, it just pushed them backwards, and that was it, and they got back up. That was so silly. Trev Bistro recommends Long Legs. Oh, I've heard of that movie, and I've heard people like it. I'll give it a watch when it comes out. I don't think I'd want to watch it in theaters. Gollum is more threatening than Kang. Of course. Yeah, Vecna Saeed is also a good, better villain. It's funny how you're all saying this and that villain is better than Kang. It's like, shows how everyone doesn't have any respect for Kang. And I'm not surprised. Oh, that's an interesting thing. Jordan Smith says Kang was done better in Lego Marvel 2. Interesting. Sonic says, Captain Eric, can you binge watch My Little Pony? Where do you get at from calling me Captain Eric and then following it up with, can you watch My Little Pony? No, I won't be watching My Little Pony. Shit. I just realized I actually have, on Patreon, I've got quick TV show reviews. Someone actually could recommend that I watch and then review My Little Pony. But then again, it has to be a certain amount of episodes. So, if it's not a certain amount of episodes, I won't have to. Phantom Popfire says, Eric, would you do the live-action Ben 10 movie? No, you don't need it in live-action. The show is great. I feel like there was a time where people wanted to see that animated stuff turn to live-action, but now, especially with the likes of Disney making these shitty remakes, I think we've all realised that just keep animation. You don't need to live-action everything. Pop culture fan, you want me to watch the Star Wars holiday special? I keep saying, if you go on Patreon, and if you read what I've said on the perks, then yes, I could. If you go on Patreon and donate to me there, then yes, I could, and I would. Yes, Spirit Hero, it is true that they teased him in it. I haven't seen that episode yet, but I have seen that clip go around on the internet, so yeah. And it's stupid. Oh, hi, Godzilla X Kong. Good to see you back on the stream. Ramouse says, who is your favourite hero from Marvel and DC? No harsh criticism, please. Well, if you're asking me for my favourite, I'm not going to give any criticism. My favourite hero from Marvel... is probably Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. And my favourite character from DC is Christian Bale's Batman. Drake says, have I played Plants vs. Zombies before? I have. I played it on the iPod Touch years ago when we, back in like the 2009, 2010 days. I played it then. It's also on the DS and stuff, but I didn't want to play it on those, really. Speaking of DS, look at this. Can you guys recognize what this is? This is an original Nintendo DS that I got off of eBay recently. Fantastic condition, because you can't normally get them. These in great condition. They're usually always completely messed up and scratched and everything. But yeah, I was like, let's take a look at where it all started with the fat DS. And that's why I decided to get this, and it's a cool little thing if you want to just see, you know, like some old gaming tech, basically, and you want to see what it was like when they made this first DS compared to the much better DS Lites, which I far prefer. The screen on this is absolutely terrible, by the way. Hardly any colors and stuff. So my first DS actually had the best screen. Oh, Joshman says, Eric, I was asking you earlier, which rated R comic book movie you're looking forward to the most? Deadpool Wolverine or Joker 2? Joker 2. Deadpool Wolverine, I lost interest when I saw that second trailer. I didn't like that second trailer. It just made it seem like, oh, so it's kind of a generic, at least by the trailer, it looked like a generic adventure between the two. It didn't look like a special adventure between the two. The first trailer made it seem more like a special adventure between them, but the second one didn't. And I've not seen the third trailer, but my brother has, and he says it's worse than the second trailer, so yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping the movie surprises me. Really, I am. Even Ryan Reynolds says there's a bunch of surprises in the movie that didn't get out, so that's cool. Yep, Red X is better than Kang. And the Brotherhood of Evil. No, AGN, I did not watch the third trailer because the movie's coming out in less than a week now, so there's no point watching another trailer and spoiling things for you. But some idiot that I'm subscribed to decided to put the spoiler of, I'll say a girl, I won't say who, of a girl that shows up, and I wish they didn't, because I heard rumors, but I didn't know for sure, and yeah, they basically put that picture on the community post on YouTube, and I saw it. It was just, they just straight up spoiled that. They shouldn't have done that. Just so they could say, yeah. You should put spoiler as your first image or something at least. But yeah, Joker 2 to me it seems more like a classic movie. Like when you feel like you went to the theatre to see like actual cinema and movies. Whereas Deadpool Wolverine looks fun, but the trailer focuses too much on the shenanigans part. It did not focus on, I feel like, the heart or the emotion of it as much. So, yeah. Yeah, Sonic, I did say some idiot I subscribed to, because when you subscribe to someone, you trust them. And you hope they would not put a blatant spoiler on a community post. Especially when a movie is out just in a few days' time. You know, so yeah, I did not like that they did that. Selena says, I know who you are talking about. Really? Who do you think I'm talking about? Time Shadow, I've not seen the behind the scenes for Stranger Things Season 5. The top does, but that's probably if you open it too many times, Matthew. But this one seems to be in perfect condition, so it's all good. And it's funny, I've got a red DS, original DS, and a blue Game Boy Advance SP off as well. So the DSs I got are all black, but these other sort of like one-off consoles I got, they're different colors, which is cool. AGN says, what do you think about Deadpool and Wolverine's soundtrack? I've not been listening to the soundtrack. Oh, are you talking about the soundtrack that's in the trailer? Because I don't think there's a soundtrack released yet. But they better do good music in that. They better, because the X-Men movies have had great music under Fox's supervision. Here. Oh, Selena, you meant that. I thought you meant the YouTuber you knew. Yes, Manola, I have seen Wednesday. It was okay. Captain Sonic says, Captain Eric, how much can one pay for that DS? They don't go that expensive, but to find a good quality one, you just can't find it. So I'm surprised I found this, and this was about 50 quid. Quite steep, but you can't get this kind of stuff just at all now. Any shop you go to, it's all messy and scratched up and everything. So this is part of video game history, and I've got a strong attachment to the DS line because that was my first proper console. Stay tuned for my game show, which is, as you can see, is going to be on Patreon for $5, or will also be on YouTube memberships. And I'll talk about my journey and how I got my first ever console, which was the Nintendo DS Lite. And how that was not technically my first console, but it was truly my first console. Even though there was technically something that came a little bit before that, but I will talk about that. You'll get to know about my gaming journey that way. Joey Nichols says, thoughts on Ahsoka, Eric? Did I cover Ahsoka at all? Let me just double check. I thought it was okay. It could definitely have been better. Yeah, I did do one video on Ahsoka, yeah. I don't know. I think I was just doing a video on the first 2 episodes. I think I did. But yeah, the show was ultimately disappointing, I thought. You know, when you get down to it. Oh, yeah, even Gwen says you did. I like it when you guys remember these things for me. But yeah, it could have definitely been better. Hopefully with Season 2 it will be. But yeah. Do you guys want to know something funny about Star Wars, by the way? It's like where Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are taking jabs at Kathleen Kennedy. Do you know in the opening when you're watching Star Wars on Disney Plus and you get all those helmets that show up and then you have the Star Wars logo? Basically what they did a while back, I think this was with Mandalorian Season 3, I think, or was it Ahsoka? I think it was Ahsoka. They took the Kylo Ren helmet out. And Kathleen Kennedy, apparently, she only found out when people on social media were talking about it. So she didn't even realize it herself. And when you look at that logo, the Kylo Ren helmet has still been taken out. And she got pissed about it. But with the Acolyte in that opening logo, Jon Favreau is such a gangster sometimes. He actually put the Kylo Ren helmet back in to show that in the other one, this is not a Kathleen Kennedy project with Ahsoka, but then to show with the Acolyte, a crap show that she got off the ground, and then she wanted to, like, you know, say, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to the Mando movie, you know, because she wanted to wash her hands of this. He put the logo back, the Kylo Ren logo back, to say, oh yeah, this is Kathleen Kennedy's project. That was so funny. I was like, man, that is a gangster move right there. Oh. That is so funny. And then, of course, you got the South Park thing. Put a chick in it and make her gay. Put a chick in it and make it lame. That was so funny. Jake has done a $28 donation. Seriously, Jake, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate when you do this. Jake says, what's a video game you'd like to see be turned into a movie? Anyways, do you feel like films tend to have longer staying power than shows? By the way, what's a Disney remake you're dreading? I have a few. By the way, most overrated actor. Again, a lot of great questions in there. Let's start with the video game I'd like to see turned into a movie. I'm sure there must be one. Oh, I've always wanted this. I've always wanted a God of War movie. Not a God of War movie based on the recent God of War games, but I mean the original God of War games, like God of War 1, God of War 2, God of War 3, you know, the more beat-em-up style that they had versus the third-person one they did later. I always wanted a God of War movie, so I'd like to see a God of War movie. As for, do you feel like films tend to have longer staying power than shows? No, it really just depends what the show is, what the movie is. Because I grew up with so many shows, especially on Cartoon Network, and they, to this day, they're still near and dear to my heart. They really are. They really transport me back. Just like movies transport me back as well. So I think no. They both have as much staying power as each other. Sometimes TV shows could have more staying power because they go on for so long. But then again, there are movie franchises that go on for so long. Look at Harry Potter, for example. So, or the Fast and Furious movies. But there's examples to give in terms of how long they can last. But no, I don't think there is any one has a bigger impact than the other. I don't think they either have more staying power than the other. By the way, what's a Disney remake you're dreading? I think I've already dreaded the ones, and they've already made it. Probably one that I'll be dreading is going to be Lilo and Stitch, because that's one that they're doing right now. They're also planning on doing, I'm assuming they're going to at some point try to do a Tarzan remake. I would not want to see that, because I love that Tarzan movie, so great. The animated one from them. But yeah, I would say okay, bye Fireboy, thanks for joining the stream, I appreciate it. I would say, yeah, they those are my two choices basically. And let's see, by the way, what's a, no, I already said that. I have a few, but oh, hang on. Oh, there it is. By the way, most overrated oh, excuse me, this is what happens when you talk in the stream for a while. By the way, most overrated actor. The most overrated actor. Someone who I think can't act but keeps getting praise as if they can. Huh. Do you guys have any suggestions? Do you guys have any suggestions? Like, overrated actors? Maybe something will come back up in my head, because I want to give you a good answer on this, not just a throwaway answer. Awkwafina? But is she really overrated? I feel like people call her out for what she is. I've never seen anyone staunchly defend her. Hollywood tries to keep making her a thing, but I've never seen her overrated. Someone overrated. Someone that people say is so great as an actor, but they're really not. But I do like how you bring up Awkwafina. Tom Holland, I would say, is an overrated actor, but then I saw him in that Netflix movie, that creepy Netflix movie that was so clearly anti-Christian so much. What was that movie called? I can't remember, but Tom Holland was very good in that, so I was like, okay, he can act. It's just that they keep getting him to play these boyish characters, so I don't think he's overrated. I think he has it in him. Gal Gadot, I think everyone knows that she can't act. I don't think she was popular for her acting. I think she was popular because she was nice to look at. But boy, has that died down, because we now all know how she's got such a black heart and how much people she probably killed during her time. Do people say Brie Larson's a good actress, though? I feel like a lot of people don't. You know what? I'm just going to say, right now, Tom Hardy. He is a very good actor, but I'm not seeing it lately. So I'll just say Tom Hardy. Actually, no. That's a bit too easy. Mads Mikkelsen. I think he's a very good actor. But if you see him in, say, Fantastic Beasts 3, he's just doing the same thing, so much so that he's boring. I think he really needs to kind of like refine his technique, because I feel like he's just been reusing it. So I'd say he's probably overrated now. The Devil All the Time, that's what it was called at the time, Shadow. The Devil All the Time. Yes, I have seen Cobra Kai Phantom Pop, but I've not seen the recent season because I'm waiting for all of it to come out. All of season 6 to come out, and then I'll watch it all at once. It was very anti. Joshman says the name of the Netflix Tom Holland movie is called The Devil All the Time. And what did you mean that it was an anti-Christian movie? Well, it was very much trying to talk about. Didn't you just see the crazy Christians in that movie? There's no other way to call it. They were like crazy. One guy kills his it was so painful to watch. That was one guy offs his wife, and then he tries to bring her back to life because he thinks he's some kind of chosen one or something, and then he realizes he can't bring her back. and that was depressing for him, I remember. Um, that's okay, G Gamer. Don't worry about it. Also, there was that. What was it? Was it Pennywise who played a crazy father at one point? He was just crazy how he was acting to his son and how they were praying to the Lord, and they were. It was just insane, dude. I'm telling you, it was insane. It was such a. It felt like it was very much trying to bash Christianity, to the point that even I was getting uncomfortable. I was like, dude, this is so aggressive and on the nose. Let's see. Yep, Timothy Chalamet is also very overrated. Very good, Joey. That's a very good example. Let's see. The G Gamer says, "Hey Jake, I was wondering, have you considered doing a versus video commission with the amount you're donating?" Is what the G Gamer says to Jake. Jake says, "Have a few, in fact." Well, Jake, if it's a concern to you, eventually, I don't know, it seems like you don't want to go to Patreon, from what I've heard. If that's the case, then at some point, I could try to bring the commissions over to YouTube, and then you can donate that way, because it'll be just the way you've already been doing it. But the only thing is that the price will be much higher, because YouTube take 30%, and I don't want them to take 30% of something that big, which take, because I have to make the video commissioning it, I'm going to have to adjust for that 30%. So it probably would be best just to do it on Patreon if you do. And you don't even have to commission just versus videos. There's also quick movie reviews, quick TV show reviews. There's a good variety there. Jake says, "I will someday, maybe." Well, I look forward to that day. It's always fun to make videos for you guys, and for the couple that I'm already doing on Patreon, it is actually quite nice. Elite says, "Can Zendaya count as overrated?" She could, but I don't think I've seen her or anything where she's overrated. She seems like she's very much rated. Like, if there's overrated, underrated, then there's just rated. I think that's what I would put her at. By the way, I have uploaded earlier today my Season 2, Episode 6 Let's Watch episode of Invincible. I've not announced it on my YouTube community posts yet, but it's there. So if you're a patron, or if you are thinking of becoming a patron, it's available. And then I've just got 2 more episodes to watch and record for you guys. Tanner says, "How many hours does it take to make a versus video?" It's hard to quantify with hours, so I usually just say it by overall time. It usually can take a minimum of 2.5 weeks. 2 to 2.5 weeks minimum, but it can also take a month. So yeah, it takes a while, because I do a lot of more edits with it and stuff now, so yeah. Spirit Hero says, "Hot take, I think the Dune movies are overrated." Well, I still have to see the second one. Like I said, I still have to get that 4K copy from a friend at some point, and then I'll watch it. Manola says, "Do you know about the Zuko and Katara ship from Avatar? If so, what do you think about it? Also, do you have a favorite Avatar character?" In terms of the ship, yeah, I heard about the Zuko and Katara ship. I never saw it. Others are really into it, but not me. I think it was great she went with Aang. And as for my favorite Avatar character, it would probably be Zuko or Uncle Iroh. Because everyone loves Uncle Iroh. Who could hate Uncle Iroh? Joey Nichols, no, I'm not hyped for Deadpool and Wolverine, because that second trailer kind of took the hype out of it. So I would say I'm going to watch it, and I'm hoping I get excited when I watch it. The Time Shadow says, "How long would you say it takes you to write scripts for videos?" Scripts usually take the longest, really. It's like, once I get the script done, it'll take me about a week, and I can edit the rest of the video, to completion. But yeah, scripts are usually the longest part. I know, Matthew. I'm kind of surprised too. Time has flown by, but I do want to watch it at some point. Jake says, "Imagine a live-action Cars remake." Yeah, wouldn't want that. It was bad enough in animation. I don't want to see if I thought that first Cars movie was so bad in animation, I can't fathom how bad it would be in live action. Also, what was I gonna say? I just lost it. Oh, yeah, I think I just lost it. I think I just lost what I was gonna say. That's annoying when that happens. Tanner says, how much would it cost to do Loki Season 1 versus Loki Season 2? I don't know. I've not got a price up for that. And Jess says, who is better, Chris Tuckman or Jeremy Johns? Stuckman is not a proper critic anymore. He's sold out because he wants to get in to the Hollywood club. And he thinks they're going to let him in, but they're not going to let him in. Jake says, and it would star Jonah Hill as McQueen, the live-action Cars Disney movie. That sounds bad. Not as bad as it could. I mean, it could be Kumail Nanjiani. Heck, maybe they could gender swap him and make it Aquafina. So I think it could be far worse. Hey Eric, the Greatest Show song from The Greatest Showman is in the soundtrack for Deadpool and Wolverine. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder what they will do with that. Probably a reference. Deadpool will reference it, I'm assuming. AGN says the third trailer for Deadpool Wolverine is a serious trailer. That's good to know. Joshman says, Eric, are you and Angry Joe's video? Are you and Angry... Do you mean am I in Angry Joe's video? I am once, when he talks about copyright claims from someone who was giving copyright claims at the time. I contacted him and says, yeah, these people are giving you copyright claims. They copyright claimed one of my videos too. And he had all of these videos opened in tabs of people that were copyright claimed by this YouTube certified company. And yeah, my video got shown up there. Some people told me that your video showed up there. I was like, oh, cool. Big Bash says, you and Angry Joe, I feel, would make a good collaboration. Really? That's interesting. Spread the word if that's the case. Spirit Hero brings up an interesting point. He says, I've noticed that these new trailers being released by Marvel are starting to get less views than they used to get on YouTube. What do you mean less reviews than they used to get on YouTube? Yeah, they are getting less views. And less reviews. But yeah. Joey says, why didn't you like the Deadpool 3 trailer, Eric? On Patreon you said it was funny. The second trailer I said was funny, I think. But I think I said in my trailer reaction there that I wasn't too fond of this trailer. I think I said. If I remember it correctly. I'm sure I did say it. Watch my trailer reaction to the second trailer. I think I did say that. Oh, Joshman says, Eric, I meant to say, are you into Angry Joe's content and do you like his videos recently? Yeah, I'm into his content. I watch his reviews from time to time. His movies and stuff, those reviews, unless it's a high-profile movie, I don't really watch the reviews. But his game reviews, that's what many people are subscribed for. I watch those when he does those. Mainly if it's a game that I'm into. But even if it's not a game I'm into, I sometimes just like his analysis. So, Elite says, what are your thoughts on The Legend of Korra? I really enjoy Legend of Korra, but it doesn't hold a candle to Avatar. Jess says, hey Eric, I gotta go. I'll see you in the next live stream. No problem, buddy. Thanks for dropping by. Take care. Okay, guys, 20 minutes. We're going to end the stream in 20 minutes. So in that time, if you have any more super chats, any more Streamlabs chats or questions, post them and I'll try to answer them. Yes, Tanner, I am doing YouTube full-time and I'm trying to make this a successful career path because I love doing it. Joey says, did you watch the Knuckles show, Eric? I did not. Like I said, I continue to do the Let's Watch, like the watch-along on my YouTube memberships. I might watch the Knuckles show with you guys leading up to that third Sonic movie. So like I said, hit that YouTube join button and you'll get a ton of great content coming. Spirit Hero says, I'm going to head out now, Eric. Take care. No problem at all, buddy. You take care too. Have I ever played Red Dead Redemption 2, says Rabbit. No, I haven't. The game, from what I heard, doesn't end until like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and I don't have that kind of time. I wanted a more linear game, to be honest with you. Jake says, hot take. Some of NC videos haven't aged super well. NC, is that Nostalgia Critic? Joey says, what if Feige takes creative control away from Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman? I don't know, but that'll probably be down the line, because it sounds like this was very much their movie, this does. Sonic says, Captain Eric, I have a hot take. Darth Vader is a lame villain. Hot take indeed. Charlton says, how much did your Steam Deck cost? I'm thinking about getting one of my own for my birthday or Christmas. How much did it cost? Let's see. I should have it listed here, I think. Where is it? Oh, here we go. It was £479 to get the Steam Deck. And it was and that was for the 512GB capacity. To get the 64GB version of the original Steam Deck, it was 349 quid, which was a steal for that. And then I upgraded it with a 1TB internal SSD. So that was cool. So yeah, I love the Steam Deck, I really do. If they release another one, I'll buy it. You guys talk about Sonic. Yes, I did, movie fan. I did watch the nostalgic Avatar video with Dante Bosco. Interesting thing, by the way, at the time. At the time, I was thinking of watching Avatar myself before Doug Walker watched it. And then I said it to my friend. I was like, I'm thinking of watching Avatar The Last Airbender. What do you think? And he goes, you've not seen Avatar The Last Airbender? And I was like, well, I mean, no. And then he goes, watch it. It's really good. And I thought, oh, see you, Saeed. Thanks for joining the stream. And I says, okay, I'll watch Avatar then. I'll watch it. And then right around the time I was about to watch it, Doug Walker then was doing these Avatar vlogs. And that was a cool, interesting thing. So I was watching them as he was watching them, and it was kind of a cool thing to do. And then eventually I watched it at my own pace and not his and stuff. But yeah, I used to watch one episode a day, except if it was a two-parter, then I would watch those in one day. But yeah, that was quite a thing. And I remember I got very sad when I got to the final episode and it was over. I just felt empty, like I wanted more. And then when I went to go see Korra, I just felt depressed because I felt like all these characters that I just finished watching, they're gone and they're dead, most of them. And it was just such a painful... It was very painful to watch Korra at that point, really it was. Because especially if you come fresh off of watching the Avatar show and you still want to live, like just imagine what those characters are living through, to jump to a different show was quite disheartening with different characters and everything. Matthew said, is Steam Deck really worth it? It is, but it depends on your use case. For me, I always wanted to have the Batman Arkham games portably, so that alone makes it worth it. But then I've always wanted to play other games portably as well. Now I finally get to. And essentially my goal is to get all my PlayStation 4 games and move them over to the handheld. That's my goal essentially. And for the most part, I've pretty much succeeded in that. Jake says, what are your thoughts on the Star Trek overall? I feel like he's hit and miss. There was a time where he was pretty much always like 9 out of 10 times hit. But then it seems like he's just stopped caring, to be honest. It seems like he's just getting these videos out, but they don't get the views like they used to. And it's because his jokes are not jokes. They're not funny. It feels more like you're watching his thoughts on the movie rather than having fun and watching him dismantle them in the fun way that he used to. There's nothing wrong with him being analytical, but the thing is, you got to know what your niche is. His niche was not being just analytical, it was being funny. My niche is being analytical, so if I'm being analytical, it makes sense because that's what I've established myself as, but he's established himself as something else and then has just gone switched to analytical. It's like if I go from being analytical to just being a full-on comedian, it won't work because you guys came to me for being analytical. So I can put some jokes in there, but to completely shift my style, it just won't work. But I feel like that's what he's done, and it doesn't work. But, you know, he's going through some health problems and stuff, so who knows, maybe it's just not as easy to do what he used to, but it is a shame that they're not on the same quality that they used to be. Elite says, who's your favourite villains throughout the Avatar The Last Airbender? Oh, Azula, of course, when she was after all our characters. Joshman says, Eric, are you excited for Batman, the Caped Crusader that is coming out on Amazon Prime? Yes or no? Yes, I am. But if the rumours and the leaks are to be true about what Harley Quinn's involvement is in the show, I think they've butchered her already. And they're moving away from the abusive storyline with her and Joker, which I think just is a very bad choice, what they've changed it to. It's like they're trying to always change Harley into being a good character lately, and I don't like that. Phantom Popfire says, Eric, what are your thoughts on How to Train Your Dragon trilogy? Well, I said when I get 100 patrons, I'll actually make the three-way versus video between the three movies. So I'll save it for that. I won't tell you everything, but I like the three movies. I'll just leave it at that. So unless if I get 100 patrons, then I'll do it as a celebratory thing. That's the goal that I've set up there. Or if someone just commissions it on Patreon, then I'll do it that way as well. I'll end up making the commission video that way too. Matthew says, could I play the Insomniac Spider-Man games portable on Steam Deck? Yes, you can. I actually have done that. On my birthday live stream I did, when I was starting these live streams up new, I said I was playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I did. It was a very fun game. I played it for the first time on the Steam Deck. It's great. Trevor Bistro, favorite Fresh Prince moments or episode? Love your Fresh Prince joke from your latest video. Oh, cool. I love there's one episode where Uncle Phil says to Will, he goes, Will, I'll be on you like a shadow. And then Will's like, a shadow? Uncle Phil, with you it would be more like an eclipse, wouldn't it? And then they both start laughing at it, and Will's like, that's a good one, isn't it? And then Uncle Phil's like, yeah, that is a good one. And you know what? Just for that little stunt, I'm going to make myself co-manager, where he's going to be monitoring him. And Will's like, damn, I knew it was one fat joke too far. That was hilarious. Always making fun of Uncle Phil's weight, which was so funny. Okay, 10 more minutes on the stream, everyone. And Jake, I don't know if you're still in there, in the live chat, but again, I want to thank you for your very generous donations. They really will go a long way towards helping me, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. One Diamond Shine says, what do you think of Thor Ragnarok? I liked the first half of it, but then I got exhausted and I was like, this is just now being the same movie that it was for the first half, but for the second half, and I'm tired of it. I thought there was too many jokes in it as well, but I did enjoy the first half. But every time they go to that Hulk parade, and Mark Ruffalo has green, paint or whatever go over his face, as soon as that happens, my mind instantly tunes out and I want to leave the room. I'm like, I'm done. Every time. It's bizarre. It's like my mind just shuts off. It's like, done. I don't want to watch anymore. AGN says, okay, I have to go and feed my pig. So see ya. Oh, okay. I was gonna make a joke there, but I don't think it would be nice, so I won't say it. Shall I say what that joke was? Almost tempted. Yeah, I won't. Probably I just won't. Oh, God, that's great. That's great. I'm glad you're still there, Jake. Okay. Gwen says, I have to go now. It's been fun, and remember, Oberon from WarioWare is a bigger threat than Kang the Conqueror. Change my mind, says Gwen. I won't change your mind. Everyone, I think, is more threatening than Kang. Put me in an MCU movie as just a nameless villain. I'll be more threatening. Movie fan says, so Eric, when Katara was hearing Sokka and Toph's heart-to-heart, and we only saw Katara's head during the scene, I think it means she was, you know. Ew, I hope you're not saying what I think you're saying. No. It's... You know what it was. They made it very clear what it was. It wasn't that. I hope you're not making a dirty insinuation. But anyway, AGN says you could say it. When you said, okay, when you said I gotta go feed my pig, I was like, why would you talk about your mother that way? Or how could you talk about your mother that way? I was gonna make a joke like that when you said you're gonna go feed your pig. I was like, nah, that's probably too mean. So I wasn't gonna say that. The Time Shadow says, what are the specific upcoming Patreon commission videos? Well, first Puss in Boots 1 versus Puss in Boots 2. Then there's another one, which they haven't decided yet, but they've commissioned already. So I'll get that after I've done the first one. AGN, I've said it. You don't have to just comment that anymore. Jake, you're right. Sid from Toy Story is more threatening than Kang. Jake says, maybe Ragnarok overdid it with the jokes, but at least it's not as bad as Infinity Cones and Screaming Goats. Exactly. I'm not saying it is. Nowhere near. But, yeah, that Thor Love and Thunder took it to a whole other level that we didn't think was possible. Yeah, Zuko is more threatening than Kang. Toph is more threatening than Kang. Thank you, Captain Eric. Jesus. Yeah, take that. More praise than I would appreciate. Matthew says, have you seen The Boys Season 4? No, I haven't. I'm going to binge watch it at some point when I've got some free time. That's a show I like to watch on my own. Without covering on YouTube or anything, I like to just watch that on my own. Sometimes it is fun just to go back to watching TV shows without feeling like you have to review it. So that's something I usually tend to watch on my own. Jess says, Eric just came back, want to stick around till the stream ends. Oh, that's nice. Thank you very much for that. Move fan says, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. I'm just saying that as a way for audiences to be emotionally invested with the heartfelt scene. Okay, then, that's good. Movie fan's right. He says, she is not Toph. She is Melon Lord. That's right. Oh, Jake, you have really taken me back. The Toilinator from Kids Next Door is more threatening than Kang. If you guys know who the Toilinator is, Jake pulled out a really good one there with a joke, because the Toilinator is someone who wants to be threatening, but no one takes him seriously. Saeed says, spoilers tomorrow for Deadpool Red Carpet. Here's hoping that they don't make it to the internet and I don't see any of them, because the movie's right around the corner. They should be treating this like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. We should not be hearing anyone watching this until much closer to the release of the movie. Yeah, Zelda fan, I think a Tekken movie directed by Gareth Evans could work. Same with the Mortal Kombat movie. I think a Mortal Kombat movie would be better to see from him, personally. Gumball from the Amazing World of Gumball is more threatening than Kang, says Sonic. One Diamond Shine, I love The Dark Knight Rises. The Deadpool controller, no, I haven't. The G-Gamer says, I have no idea who Toilinator is. Well, you're missing out on probably one of the best jokes of comparing Kang that we've gotten in this stream. Tom from Tom and Jerry is more threatening than Kang. So is Jerry. Belos is more than threatening Kang. Okay, 4 minutes left on the stream, guys. So, yeah, post your questions, any super chats or Streamlabs chats, and I'll answer them in the stream. Samantha, I can't find your comment. Eric, she says, Eric, what is your least favorite character from Marvel, DC, and Star Wars? Least favorite character from Marvel, I'll say... Right now, I'll just say Captain Marvel. Least favorite character in DC... Oh, it'd probably be some of the characters from Birds of Prey, because those characters I did not have any particular attachment to, so I'd say some of the characters from that, like that little girl that was trying to be a pickpocket and she wasn't even a good one. I'll just put her there. And least favorite character from Star Wars, I'll say Holdo, that Admiral Holdo woman. I'm sure there's another worse character, but that's the only one I can really think of right now. So, yeah. Oh. Jake says Godzilla versus. Oh, yeah, Jake, the movie Brother Bear. Could. Eric, can you review Wolverine popcorn buckets as AGN? If I can see one there, I probably will. I hope it's not freakishly expensive, though. I've never bought a popcorn bucket, I'll be honest with you guys. I never have. Jake, a Valley Girl versus video. I keep forgetting about Valley Girl until you keep bringing it up. Sonic says, Captain Eric's beard is more threatening than Kang. MovieFan 2002 has done a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, buddy. Right at the end of the stream, too. Says, Robin Williams would have been 73 today. Yeah, that's always sad to think about. That's one of the few celebrity deaths that actually had an impact on me when I was like, oh, that's actually sad. Him and Kevin Conroy, they were both the deaths that had an impact on me. And they were both friends as well. They both lived together during their teen years, or their younger adult life years. Good picks, Eric, and are you okay? If you're referring to what happened here, I think I just pricked myself there, and I just felt something, so I thought let's just use tissue there, which I did. But yeah, I'm okay. I'm still recovering. I'm still a bit unwell. In fact, I actually felt a bit tired to do this live stream, but I always do live streams with you guys every week, so I didn't want to miss out on that. Jake says, by the way, I have to go. My planet needs me. Well, Jake, I'm going to be going in a bit as well, so thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for all your donations. I really appreciate it, Jake. So, take care. I didn't know Kevin Conroy was married either, but I always enjoy when you drop by as well, Jake, and when all of you drop by, so thanks for joining the stream. Elite, no, I'm not excited for the Trap movie by M. Night Shyamalan. I've stopped watching his movies for a while now. The G-Gamer says, I have a versus video idea in my mind, but I'm keeping it secret. Okay. Squidward is more threatening than Kang. Yep. Brandon says, have you made a comparison video of 1984 Karate Kid versus 2010 Karate Kid? No, I haven't. MovieFan 2002 says, you don't have to do these streams every week. You can take a break from them sometimes. I do, sometimes. But I felt like I could do it. And there were some stories I wanted to talk about, like the Russo Brothers story, for example. So that was something I really wanted to talk about. Bye, Eric. Can't wait for your review for Deadpool Wolverine. Okay, Saeed, take care. And you know what? 32 of you are on this live stream, which is a higher number to stay, but I think that's about it. Unless I get a super chat or Streamlabs chat in the next few seconds, I am literally about to close out this live stream. So, John Kreese is more threatening than Kang, yeah. So, thank you very much, everyone, for continuing to join these live streams. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys and answering your questions, and it's always great to see you guys whenever I'm talking about these stories that you guys actually want to listen. And thank you very much again for donating and joining me on Patreon, because like I said, the Patreon numbers have gone up. So that is fantastic news. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, consider becoming a YouTube member, because I've got huge content coming there that you're really going to want to be a part of. And yeah, I'll catch all of you in the next live stream. Take care. My bad. Okay, bye.